Good morning, guys. Your bell ringer today was an anticipation guide on data analysis and probability. So let's take a look at that. The first question said a proportion is stated in this form, 12 out of 15. Okay? So we're going to take a little poll. How many of you agree with that? 14 of you agree. Okay? How many of you disagree? 11? All right. Let's look at number 2. Probability is exact. Who agrees with that? Wow. Okay. 25 of you disagree and 0 agree. Okay? Pretty strong there. That's a big difference. A Venn diagram is a way to organize data and aid in analysis of that data. Who agrees with that statement? Okay, 25 of you agree. 0 disagree, huh? Okay. Well, probability is the likelihood of something occurring. Who agrees with that statement? All of you agree with that statement. Wow. Okay, so we've got a pretty big difference. Really, the only one that we have any concerns about are the first one. So let's take a look at the Venn diagram that's over here on the board and try to see if we can figure out what number 1 will be. All right, so you've got a Venn diagram, and it tells us that out of 40 middle school athletes, 19 play football and 27 play basketball. 8 of these athletes play both sports. It tells us to use the diagram to organize the information from the word problem and answer the questions. So who thinks that we need to do the diagram first and the questions last? All right, who thinks that we need to do the questions first and the diagram last? All right, okay. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's see if maybe we can't do it first. It told us to remember to label our circles. So do y'all think we need to do that first? Let's try that. We're going to put football in red right here. And in blue, we're going to do basketball. So our first question asks us, how many students play only football? Let's take a look at what we know. We have 40 total. And then it tells us that 19 play football. Beside that, it says 27 play basketball. And out of those, 8 play both. So if I have 19 that play football, and 8 of those play football and basketball, how many does that leave playing just football? 11 is correct. So I'm going to answer the question. Okay? So now the second question says, how many students play only basketball? So let's take a look. I have 27 that play basketball. And I have 8 that play both. That leaves me with 19 that play only basketball. Now I'm looking at that, and I know that it told me that 8 plays both. Where do y'all think that 8 is going to go? Where is their place on the Venn diagram? It's in the middle, that's right. Right in the middle where the 2 intersect. That indicates both. So I have 11 that play football 8 that play both, and 19 that play basketball. So how many do you think that are neither football nor basketball? If I have 11 and I add 8 to that, then I have 19. Add that 19 to the 19 that play only basketball, I'm going to have 38. If there are 40 total, how many do I have left over? That is right, 2. So where do you think those 2 fit on the Venn diagram? They're going to fit outside the circle. They don't fit in football, they don't fit in basketball, and they don't fit in both, so they're going to be outside the circles. That is correct. Now the last question says, what is the probability that a randomly chosen student from this group is only a football player? So if you're looking at that, how many were only football players? 11 is correct. And how many do we have total? 40. So you're going to have an 11 out of 40 proportion. So if that's 11 out of 40, let's look at that percent-wise. What percent-wise would that be? If it were 11 out of 40, what would it be? Let's figure that out. What percent? Okay? All right, so let's flip to the next page. It tells us that 30 students were asked about their favorite subjects in school. Just leave it right there. Okay, we're going to look at these and I'm going to get y'all to work these within your group. Let's see how well you do with those, and then we will discuss them. We're going to work those within your group, and then we will discuss them. When you are finished with the group work, the next page says now it's your turn. I want you to work individually on those until everybody catches up. At the bottom of that page, there is a question, and it says explain the Venn diagram and the advantages to using the Venn diagram and how we use it to solve a problem. So when you get to that point, I want you to write a paragraph in explanation of the advantages of a Venn diagram, how we can put them to use to solve a problem. Okay, so we're through with the group work. Let's take a look at this and then we'll move on to the individual. All right, so how many students like only English? So working it out with this solution, I've got 2. How many of, what groups agree with that? What were some other answers that you got? Okay, explain to me how you got that answer. Okay, so let's look at part B. Okay, so we went through these answers. Let's move on to now it's your turn. It gives us a paragraph that says 80 people eating at a fast food restaurant were asked what they had ordered. 41 people ordered hamburgers, 30 people ordered chicken nuggets, 53 ordered a soft drink, 5 people ordered all 3 of these items. 25 people ordered a soft drink with their burger, and 18 people ordered chicken nuggets and a soft drink. 3 people ordered only chicken nuggets. And it asked you to complete the Venn diagram and answer the questions. So taking a look at that, we've got it, and we're going to look at it. Okay? So, are there any questions? Did everybody get the same answer? What were some ideas? How did you come up with those answers? Okay, that makes sense. Any questions about those? Does everybody understand how we got that for our questions in our Venn diagram? Okay, since we don't have any questions, let's discuss number 5. I ask you to write a paragraph explanation on how we use Venn diagrams to solve a problem and the advantages of using a Venn diagram. Somebody give me some ideas of how we would use a Venn diagram and why we would use them. What was your explanation? Okay, that makes sense. It's a really good answer. Okay, so when using a Venn diagram and we're using it to solve a problem, who has some good ideas on what we need to do first? Like what our first step would be and what our second step would be. Okay, that's a really great answer. Can you take it one step further for me? What would be the reason behind just doing that? I understand why you did that first, but what would your reasoning be? That's what I need for your explanation in your paragraph. Would be a reason why. Okay? Alright, so why are Venn diagrams important? Did anybody in their explanation have a really good concept for why these diagrams are so important? Okay? That makes perfect sense. Y'all did a really great job today. Your exit tickets are on the back of your papers that you have on your table. If you'll fill those out, leave them in the black box on your way out the door, guys. Y'all did a really good job. See you tomorrow.